Rather than love, rather than money, rather than fame, give me truth. That was a quote by Henry David Thoreau. Hi, my name is Mercedes+Hawkins, and I too am a naturalist who believes in looking for truth in nature. I have studied sciences, meta-sciences, quantum physics, all the sciences. When you see the word meta, it means higher sciences. So it's a good thing because like atoms in electricity that we don't see, it still exists. So try not to get bugged out over meta-science. It's the ultimate truth, and that's how the law of attraction operates. Now, because I have been studying metaphysics, quantum physics, and meta-sciences, I have been helping a lot of people, in the social networks. And of course, now they come to me and depend on me for personal development. I have always been a problem solver. So when I worked for different companies, whether it was a government, whether it was a corporation or a nonprofit, I have always solved the problems. Now I'm having to work for myself in order to continue helping people. What I found out also about health is in wealth. Mostly we're talking about the truth about wealth. What I found out about wealth is that you can have health, you can have wealth, but your health can be bad, so that's not a good thing. So in a way, health becomes more important, as well as relationships. I do believe that health, knowing yourself, knowing about you, and knowing how the world operates, the nature of the world, the nature of the universe and the cosmos, just self-knowledge alone can lead to health, wealth, and your destiny. They go hand in hand. So if you are listening, I want you to go to the private, elusive, exclusive group, www.virtualnetworkinglive.com, and I want you to type this. Money does not buy happiness. Wealth does. In fact, my motto is self-knowledge leads to health, wealth, and your destiny. I created the Crystal Code production company, which was born out of an idea. It's a logo that I had seen in a vision. And as you see my fingers, this is how the diamonds were shaped. They were crystals. I had never seen crystals before, especially the ones that have a pyramid at the top and at the bottom. And it came in a vision. And so as I asked the boys, this is my symbol? And the boy said yes. And I said, what does it stand for? And he said, look it up. So as I looked it up, I found out that it is the ultimate symbol of wealth, but it means to be fearless, and it also means to be strong, and it helped me to become very strong. And I needed that because I was going through some things. So what I bring to you is life, letting inevitable fortune exist. That's what life stands for, letting inevitable fortune exist. Because I feel like life creates in abundance. And I feel that the more I look at life, the more I notice that we were all meant to be rich. If you study the universe, you see that everything exists in abundance. But rich is not what we all think it is. Because perhaps you can think of some rich people that are not happy, they're very unhappy. Many people pursue riches only to find that it is elusive. For example, you can think of people from all over the world who see the United States as a land paved with like gold. The roads are paved with gold. And so they come here and they think, wow, I'm going to be rich. But they find that you have to work really hard. And in working really hard, they send money back home. Then they got to work harder in order to go on vacation. Then they go back home to vacation. Then they work harder to retire. And then they go back home to retire, which is going full circle. It's crazy. But that happens in many cases, and they're not the only ones who think that. The conquistadors who came over here also thought that streets were paved with gold. And so the sad part is that they were thinking with their left brain as far as spirituality goes. They weren't thinking with their right brain. The conquistadors were searching for this tantamount, as far as searching for gold, it was tantamount to a bottomless pit. And I'm thinking, right now of Eric Fromm, who says greed is a bottomless pit in which a person exhausts an endless effort to satisfy the need without ever finding satisfaction. So, no, a lot of rich people don't find satisfaction because they don't know the difference between being rich and being wealthy. There is a difference. So, how many of you know people who are unsatisfied and are wealthy? We all do. I can think of Marilyn Monroe, Elvis Presley, Howard Hughes, and Whitney Houston off the top of my head. So, in my mind, I'm thinking that a lot of people that have money may not have relationships. They may not have friends. They may not be happy with their families. Some people may not have spirituality. It depends on what it is people are looking for. So to me, wealth has a lot to do with being around family. Wealth has a lot to do with having spirituality. You know, and if the friends are good friends, of course, we would include friends in that picture. The idea of materialism is a sure way to remain broken in spirit. Who said that? I did. Now I'm quoting myself. And yes, you can quote me. You can go to the private exclusive group, virtualnetworkinglive.com, and write, not without the hashtag, and write, the idea of materialism is a sure way to remain broken in spirit. That's me, Mercedes+Hawkins, quoting myself. Okay, so another person who spoke about wealth and happiness was Goldie Hawn. And yes, we can quote people who are still alive. This is what Goldie Hawn said when she visited India. I noted that the people are very happy in India. When I went back home, the people had everything. She's talking about the United States. In terms of materialistic assets, they were surrounded by abundance, but yet were happy. So you see, the point that I'm making is that she's right. You can have a lot of money, but like in India, where people may have been poor, or in the Caribbean, where people may be poor and run around barefooted, they're happy. My experience is this. Whether you're on dirt floor, barefoot, or whatever, if you have a relationship, if you have family, you have spirituality, you can be happy. And of course, a lot of people feel like money is the root of all evil. But I disagree. I feel poverty is the root of all evil. Us, despite being stripped down on everything, we still remained happy. You know, despite our gold taken away in the land of petroleum, we were still happy. We still have that in us. Because there are certain people that you can take them out of their element, put them in a whole different continent, strip of everything, and they can still build empires, like Donald Trump. Okay? Now, what happens is people are jerks. Whether people are rich, they just become bigger jerks. If you're greedy and you have money, you just become a greedy person with money. If you are a giver and you have money, you become charitable. You give away things. You find charity. You become a philanthropist. If you are spiritual and you have money, you become more of a spiritualist person. In other words, it makes you more of what you are. So what I want you to do right now is go to the private exclusive group, virtualnetworkinglive.com, and write, it makes you more of what you are. You can put money makes you more of what you are. Or you can use the word it. It makes you more of what you are. Whichever you prefer. Okay? Now, yes, our family has lost fortune, but we are still who we are. My experience with my ex, I want to tell you a story about my ex. Because he thought with his left brain, and it was materialistic. And I hate to say it, but a jerk. When I think about our relationship, we traveled a lot. So to me, when I think of him, I think that life is like a hotel. When we were married, we were traveling to different hotels, and we would stay in these different hotels as we traveled. And I remember I had a card, which was for a massage, and I was thinking, wow, I cannot use it because I have to watch the children. And we were in the hotel, and he said, don't worry. He had his glasses, and he said, don't worry, I got this. I'll watch the children. And I said, you sure? And he said, yeah, I got this. You ever met somebody who said, I got this? and then they really don't have it. Well, that's what happened. So I get my massage, but when I come back, I found my baby. She's not really a baby, she was a toddler. But my baby was on top of this bathroom sink, falling. She wasn't falling, she was diving into the toilet. And I hear this sound coming from the left, and I see that my middle daughter is on top of the table. You know those hotel places that have this desk lamp and a table. She's falling from the table onto the floor. And I look to the left when I hear a rumble, and I see that my son is on top of the curtains. So quickly I turn into an octopus. I knew I had to act quickly. So with my right foot, I catch my daughter, you know, right on top where the shoe is, and I grab her like this with my left foot. And with my right foot, I catch my other daughter, my middle daughter, who's falling off the table, and with both of my hands, I grab my son. I didn't know my body could stretch so far, but you know, when you're in an emergency situation, have you ever done this, miraculous events? Well, I turned into Neo, like in the Matrix movie, going in slow motion. And then my eyes honed in on my husband, like, what are you doing? And with his glasses on, he's like, reading a newspaper, oblivious, totally oblivious to what was going on. So with my Neo eyes, as in the Matrix, I hone in on the walls, and I noticed there were all kinds of red spots. I'm honing in because I'm looking at all these red spots, and I'm trying to figure out what they are. And they're over the toilet too. Well, I found that these red spots were Kool-Aid, red Kool-Aid. I knew I had to act fast to clean it up, and I said, honey, we got to clean up this mess. It's going to take some hot water. I need a hose. I said, I need a hose with hot water to hose this down. And he goes, with his glasses again, pulls them down, and he goes, don't worry, the maid will clean it up. Of course, I'm insulted because my mother had been a maid, cleaning up for the Kennedys. And I'm thinking, nope, I'm going to clean up this mess. How many of you ever turned into your mother? My sister used to be so embarrassed whenever she would go out with my mom, because after she ate, she would clean up. And she said, that's that maid coming out of her. And so I found that I have turned into my mom. Here I'm cleaning up this hotel of this goop. But I still haven't found my hose. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, where is she going to find a hose with hot water in a hotel? So I knock. And this white guy opens the door with a hat on. I could tell he was rich because he had on a Hawaiian shirt. And I said, do you have a hose with hot water? And he goes, yes. But why do you need one at a hotel? And I said, because my children are drowning. So he started telling me about his daughter, how she's so unhappy. And I said, well, I would love to hear, but my children are drowning. I got to go. And he goes, wait, if your children are drowning, why do you need water? Adding water to H2O. So I grab the hose. It's an emergency. I go back to my hotel room, and I go swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. And I start cleaning it up. And after I clean it up, I couldn't help but think about my mom and all the different things that she went through as a maid. And living in the Dominican Republic, and just having to take my brother. One time my brother got really sick, and she had to take him to the hospital on her shoulder. We didn't have a car, so she's walking really fast, really fast. She was walking so fast she beat the cab to the hospital. And my brother was dying, but because of her walking so fast, she was able to save his life. And in looking at this, I'm thinking, money is not the root of all evil. Poverty is the root of all evil. Because if I had not been poor, my daughter would not have died at the hands of my abusive husband. I would not have been dependent on him in an abusive relationship. I would have had money to escape with. Had we not been poor, my brother would have been in a cab getting to the hospital. Poverty totally is the root of all evil. And so with that being said, what I want to do, this is my why. I would like to go to different parts of the world, make sure everybody has clean water, that is sanitized, that doesn't cause diarrhea, and that there are public toilets everywhere. I remember visiting the Dominican Republic one time, and I used to go to the bathroom, and there were very few bathrooms. So I want to make sure, I believe health is important to everyone. And I want everybody to be healthy in any part of the world, whatever part of the world you're in. So that is my why for doing what I do and being the way I am. I see the world, and here's another reason why I believe that poverty is the root of all evil. If you have a Bible, you know that Matthew chapter 25, verse 14 through 30, and I'm not going to read the whole thing because I don't have time. But if you go there, you see the story about the 10 talents. And then the 10 talents, he took the talent away. Actually, everybody had a talent. Some had more than others. But one person had that very little talent, had only one talent. He buried his talent under the ground instead of investing it like everybody else. So he was punished for not investing, for not leveraging what he had. And what little he had left was taken from him. That's the proof that poverty is the root of all evil and is frowned upon. So to those who have very little, even that will be taken away. And to those who have a lot, it shall be multiplied, because they have invested. They're responsible. They're not into that irresponsibility like the guy who hid the little bit that he did have. Now, if you travel a lot, and we all do, because life is a journey, then you know that you're always in a destination, trying to reach a destination, trying to get there. We never arrive. I say life is like a hotel, because you either leave the place better or you leave chaos. Some people leave chaos when they leave. They might leave a mess, a dirty mess, or when they leave the earth, when they die, they leave a mess, they leave pollution, they don't leave an inheritance, they leave confusion. And that's why I say life is like a hotel. You should try to leave it better than how you found it. And with that being said, I'm going to close just to let you know that if you connected with me, you can contact me at Mercedes+Hawkinsbooks.com. I do coaching, I do personal development, I help you bring a bottom line to whatever company you're in through personal development of your employees. And it creates a salary, because happy employees make more money. And so between coaching, between personal development, between all that, I turn vices into virtues. I assess the personality of the people. So I have many skills that I bring to the forefront. I bring you higher returns at work. I have books, I have CDs, study courses, workbooks. So if you connected with me, you can go to Mercedes+Hawkinsbooks.com. I, as a problem solver, am saying goodbye now. And to some of the people that go to that website, Mercedes+Hawkinsbooks.com, you can get a free PDF, which teaches you to think outside of the box. I do many things. I write books, I do CDs, and poetry. So I have a little bit of everything, if you notice on that site. So with that being said, I hope you enjoy your journey. And I am done. Thank you.